guys, welcome to my little witchy cottage in the woods. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video so far, but I just wanted to take a little bit of time and chat about some of my favorite books, and specifically books that are perfect for October and for the autumn season. I tend to really like sort of books that kind of cross the line between realism and sort of, they have those like magical undertones, the fantasy undertones, things that feel a little bit ethereal, and that's what a lot of these books have in common. A lot of them are historical fiction novels, but they have those underlying themes of magic. So a little bit witchy, and let's get started with the first one. Hamnet. I'm sure a lot of you guys have read this one, and if you haven't read this one, like, you gotta go read it now. I saw that they're actually making a movie out of this, and I saw the trailer for it, and I cried. And I cried reading this book. So yeah, you are in for like an emotional whirlstorm. Whirlstorm? Is that even a word? I don't even know. Anyway, you're in for an emotional time if you read this book. Beautifully written. Maggie O'Farrell has to be one of my favorite modern authors. And it is a little bit witchy. It is sort of like a Shakespeare retelling, telling about his life and about his wife, who some of you may know as Anne Hathaway, and about his children. So you will fall in love with Shakespeare's wife in this novel. A witchy sort of character. She's so enchanting. She's such like a powerful female figure. I just really love this one. It's near and dear to my heart. So you need to read this now, and then we are all gonna go together and watch the movie, and we are all gonna cry together. And yeah, this is a good one. It's a very good one. Highly recommend. Perfect for spooky season. And if you like Shakespeare, which I know is slightly controversial, but for the book lovers out there, I feel like probably a lot of you like Shakespeare. I love Shakespeare. I had a lot of exposure to Shakespeare during school. I did Shakespeare plays, and I just am really fond of what he has brought into modern literature. So read this one, Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. Next one is called The Familiars by Stacey Halls. This one, about 5 years ago now, I was actually living in England. I was doing my master's degree over in Exeter, and it was this really moody, rainy, cozy English weather sort of day. I think it was probably in late September, October, and I remember waking up and I was like, I'm just gonna go buy a book and I'm going to spend the rest of my day reading that book. So I walked to Waterstones. You can see it has my exclusive Waterstones edition sticker on this one. And I looked around and I found the prettiest cover that I could find. And it does have a absolutely stunning cover, very woodland, and it is witchy. It is also a historical fiction set in Lancashire, 1612. Again, those themes of women throughout history and how they have, I guess, just how they've had to navigate being a woman in those times, and that crossover between woman and witch, basically, throughout a lot of history. This is a good one. I'm not gonna say it's maybe the best book I've ever read, but I bought it, I read it for the rest of the evening. I read it all in one go. I didn't put it down, and I enjoyed it. maybe not as life-changing as a couple of these other ones I'm going to talk about, like Hamnet. Hamnet hit something in my like heart and soul. This one, a fun read. Witchy, perfect for spooky season. So check out The Familiars, Stacey Halls. Next one, Northwoods, Daniel Mason. I talk about this in so much of my content. Like if you look at my Instagram reels, you will see this book pop up in pretty much every like book recommendation, anything I do, or I just use it as a prop. Because I mean the cover is super duper cool. I just like the aesthetic of it in general. And that's actually what led me to purchasing this book. I was at the airport. I was on my way to Ireland. And I had actually just gone through probably one of the hardest losses I've gone through in my life. My childhood cat had just passed. And she was my dearest friend. So I was in need of an escape, in need of something to give meaning to my life in a lot of ways during that time. And I wandered into the airport bookstore and I saw this book, and it has a little thing at the bottom that says, "A Monumental Achievement, I Loved It," by Maggie O'Farrell, who we know wrote Hamnet. And I was like, okay, this is the book, I'm going to read this. I did not sleep for the entire journey to Ireland, which is like, I don't know, 10 hours or something. I just read this book. And I love this book a lot. I love this book a lot. And I have seen people being like, just saying negative things about this book, and I cannot understand them, because this book, it gave meaning to me when I needed some meaning in my life in just a really sort of interesting way. And it does have that witchiness to it. It has that cross between historical fiction and realism, and just this like ethereal connection to nature and the woods and trees that I think about constantly now. There's a part of this book where it talks about how there used to be so many more trees. Like we've lost just a crazy percentage of our trees, and with that we've lost all this like ecological diversity. And how in the past when you would go out into the forest, it would just be like this deafening noise of like bird song. And I think about that all the time, how I wish I could experience that. For some reason that like really, really got to me. Was just how the way that we experience the world and we experience nature is so different nowadays than it has been during so much of like human history. Anyway, this is a good one. This one will surprise you for sure with the ending. It's just a non-stop, like you won't want to put this one down. It's a bunch of like little stories kind of within a bigger arch of a story. Yeah, A Monumental Achievement. And I would agree. I believe the branches are tapping on my window and we're about to have a rainstorm. So yes, Northwoods, Daniel Mason, read it. If you haven't read it, read it. This one and Hamnet, or like, read it. Next one I have here is Wayward by Amelia Hart. This cover also, like this is why I got this book, was this cover. It's stunning. And on the cover it says, "They call us witches, we call ourselves wayward." It's again historical fiction set in 3 different sort of timelines, and it just follows women again in these different sort of historical timelines and how they cope with being women in our world, which I think is just a really poignant reflection as a woman in this timeline, even where there's still so much going on that is hard to come to terms with. Yeah, this one is it's female empowerment for sure. I love this one. I just reread it again. I read it first last year, reread it again for the beginning of October, and I enjoyed it just as much the second time as I did the first time. So yes, Wayward, read it. And then the last one, I cannot actually give you any sort of, it's raining so hard. I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm so excited. I can't give you really any, a lot of information on this one. I just started this one. I just picked this up. I have been looking at this cover for like years now. Like every time I was at the bookstore, I was like, oh my god, Slewfoot. This cover by Slewfoot by Brom, the witchy girl on the cover, obsessed with this, and it has other illustrations throughout the novel. It's called like a dark fantasy novel, also sort of a historical fiction, and it has real illustrations in there. I don't know if you can see. That's part of what this novel does. I've just started it. Again, I can't really give you a super in-depth recommendation. I think the aesthetic is super duper cool. Interesting, unique, different from other books that I would generally find in the bookstore. Slewfoot, A Tale of Bewitchery, so you know it is perfect for spooky season. And I'm really excited to tell you more about this once I have gotten further into it. I am so busy right now. I'm very much looking forward to just a chance to sit and read. I was like going on trips, especially trips abroad, because that is when, you know, I'm like, okay, I have 7 hours or however many hours in a plane, and I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to read the entire time. And that's what I do on my trips abroad, when I go to Scotland and all those kind of things. Like I just read as much as I can possibly read, because when I'm home, you have like a billion different distractions and I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff done. Yeah. Anyway, I need to book a trip to Edinburgh, is what I'm learning from my little conversation with myself right now. I hope that you guys enjoyed these recommendations. Please leave your own recommendations in the comments. I want to hear them. I want to put them on my incredibly long TBR list. Let's share good books. I think literature and reading is more important than ever now. I want to learn about good authors. Like, I want real people writing real things. I want real people creating real things. That is what I care about. That's what's going on in my head with all this AI nonsense right now. Like, I want things that are real and authentic, and I want to know that there's a human being person that's pouring their heart and soul into everything they do, behind what I'm reading, behind what I'm watching, you know, behind all my favorite creators. Like, that's me here creating things, pouring my heart and soul into every video, every picture. Like, I get more and more worried that we're just gonna not know what's real and what's fake anymore. We're gonna just lose touch with so much of reality with the new technology coming out, and I want to reconnect. I think that's what's been going through my head. So if you get anything from this video, it is support real creators, support real authors. Let's talk about our favorite books. Let's create together. Yeah, more authenticity in this world. So this has been a very real vlog for me. I think I'm gonna keep doing this style from now on. A little bit more narrative, a little bit more storytelling, a little bit more cinematic. Tell me if you liked it. And I hope that you'll come back next time for more stories in my little woodland witch cottage. Thank you, everybody. Hi friends, welcome to my little cottage in the woods. Today we're going, can you hear my familiar over there? That is Miss Spaghetti. Yeah, and she wants to be in this video. You do? Yeah? Come up here. Hi. You can be part of this video. Yeah? You want to be a lab cat? Hop up. Yeah, hop up. Oh. Hi friends, welcome to my little cottage in the woods. We have a friend here with us today. Yes, this is Miss Spaghetti. It wouldn't be a true witch's cottage without her pet familiar here, so. She may interrupt us for the rest of the time. She does not like when her mom talks too much for some reason. She thinks that I have to be talking to her the entire time.